Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. So to get stuck straight in this morning, hitting a new low, 62.2. I did hope that I was actually going to get down into the low 62s this week after cycle dropped off. So obviously, usually time of the month, you will see body weight sort of jump up a little bit. You'll have a little bit of stickiness on the scale. Maybe you're not seeing that same rate of loss that you once were, or body weight just holds and it's really fucking annoying. But we just sort of have to continue just to move through it, keep being consistent, and eventually you're sort of going to get that reward on the other side. It's where it's easy to get frustrated, but you can't let that change the trajectory of actually what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Literally just keep your head on what you need to do and it will come. So new low today, and I think I mentioned last week that I just wanted to drop down into the 62s before we kind of considered having like another like off plan or meal out or anything like that. I think it's been like maybe 3 weeks now since my last like off plan. So I think we actually go out and get some food tomorrow, which is a rest day tomorrow actually. So I will work that in, and then that will probably be it then for another couple weeks or so, 2-3 weeks maybe. I'll run between like off plan meals, just so I have enough time in between to kind of keep building some momentum. But yeah, like that's really good to see a new low. Always nice to see some sort of quantifiable measurement of progression, which we do get maybe a little bit too caught up on. But I will actually take some progress pictures tomorrow. But last week, only real adjustments that I had, and what I've been running this week is just an extra 20 mcg a clan. That's literally it. So, you know, it's still very marginal. We haven't had a push forward with cardio or food for some time because my body's actually kind of like just chipping away. Like we've not really got any set timeline. Like it is kind of an open-ended recomp / diet. So yeah, I'm just kind of taking it in my stride. I will say that energy sort of dipped off a little bit, but that's probably just because of cycle, and to be honest, like that hasn't even really affected my training all that much, which I'm actually quite grateful for. So we're just gonna keep moving into this weekend. I'm gonna enjoy a meal tomorrow for sure. I just feel like I'm ready to have that little bit of switch off time. That's what I would probably say. Other updates. So today is Friday the 14th. I'm actually training legs today as well. So funnily enough, turns out that a couple of my previous clients, Jillian and Lisa, are currently in Dubai because they are on their stop back to Ireland from their basically 2-month travels around Asia, which is absolutely unbelievable. I'm not sure if you will recall, maybe if you followed me for quite some time, I prepped Jillian and Lisa for their first photo shoot last year, and they looked absolutely unbelievable. It's been a while since we've caught up, so I'm looking forward to seeing them today and getting a little session in. So we're going to go to Dungeon, train some legs. I think that it'll be probably the first session they've had for a little while as well, because obviously their training's then been quite inconsistent since they've been traveling, which is understandable. But yeah, it'd be good to get a little session in and just like have a nice little catch up. It's always nice to see current clients, previous clients. Like I always love these little opportunities, especially given that Dubai seems to be like a little bit of a hub that everyone tends to pass through. I actually have a couple more clients coming out just for holidays and trips over the next few weeks as well. So I'm sure there'll be a few more of these little vlogs where I'm meeting up with them, and that's going to be super cool. So yeah, it's just the one place that I feel like there's just a lot of people passing through, understandably, because there's just literally so much to do here. But yeah, looking forward to that. One little update as well is that you probably have seen, if you follow me on socials, like I literally have, I think everyone has this anyway, but like, oh my God, iPhone storage kills me. It has been killing me for the past maybe like best part of 1 to 2 years. Like my iPhone storage is literally like always full because I haven't upgraded my iPhone for like years. I think mine's like the iPhone 13, and obviously the 17's just come out. So I'm getting so furious with my storage just constantly saying it's full, and then like, you know, you record like a really good set of something and then it just doesn't record because the iPhone storage is full. It's just killing me inside. So anyway, I decided to finally bite the bullet because I've been putting it off for like the past couple of years now, upgrading, because let's be honest, you get a new iPhone, they're all practically the same, so there's like no point in upgrading your phone every year because they just always end up just looking the same anyway, and feeling the same. It's like you have the same phone but you just paid an extra grand every year. So yeah, like I've decided to get the new iPhone mainly just because the storage, I've got 1 terabyte of storage on it because I just can't do it anymore, guys. I literally just cannot deal with it anymore. So I have been, that arrived yesterday, I've been trying my damn bestest to get it set up because, oh my God, it is seriously taking the piss. Like I literally can't, I've been trying for the past the past day to try and get everything up to iCloud, and that's taken forever. So you know when you start something and you're like, can't even deal, no, that's a bug. I thought that was like a massive fucking wasp. Anyway, you get the picture, pissed me off, and hopefully I'll be able to get that set up for today anyways, so that I can actually record today's session on my phone without it like popping up. I've got no storage every like 2 seconds. Just waiting outside the car, ready to get to the gym. Mark's forgot the key, so he's had to run back up to the room. We've actually just got some cleaners in as well to clean up the apartment a little bit, because out here it's fairly standard to have like people coming in and clean your apartment. It actually works out quite cheap as well, like way cheaper than in the UK if you were to hire a cleaner for like an hour. So the car is also clean. They come and clean your car like every I think he said 3 times a week, which is pretty solid for the price of like one. It would be the equivalent per month to have your car cleaned 3 times a week that it would if you were to do one clean with your car in the UK, which is absolutely crazy. So back just for a quick roundup of the session. So please do ignore the overexposure here on this. Every time I try and film this hip thrust machine, it's just so bright that, yeah, this happens almost every single time. But anyway, I feel like I'm actually working up through these quite nicely at the minute. Like I think this is a 4.5 plates. So I think when I first moved to Dubai, I think I was hitting maybe like 3 plates. And the past while, I really do feel like progression has moved forward quite nicely, even as I'm getting lighter. So I'm definitely going to take that. I'm pretty happy with how training's going at the moment. I will say, I don't want to jinx it, but everything does seem to be gradually just improving. Now, obviously, because we're training as a 3 here and we're catching up, there is the rest times in between each set are a little bit longer. But to be honest, for some particular exercises, it's not even a bad thing because it does stop me from rushing into the next set too much. Although what you have to really learn is a skill, especially if you train with a training partner, especially if that training partner is a friend, it's like being able to actually focus in on the session and not just spend the whole time just, chatting. Because remember that we're there to train, not just there to just have a chin wag, basically. So it is a skill you have to learn, because it's either, some people are very different. Some people, you almost want to lock in your session just a little bit more, and you almost need to do that to keep the focus across the session, whereas others are able to have a chat across, a rest time, and then you almost get under the bar again and you're ready just to lock straight back in. It's like you flick a switch and you're ready to go. But not everybody is like that. So you sort of have to know yourself well in terms of, setting up your training environment so that you're actually able to get the most out of it. And if that means that you train better on your own, then that means you train better on your own. I feel like I maybe fall between the two. I think I prefer training on my own the majority of the time, but I do love these sessions with the girls every once in a while. Obviously training with clients, but I would say maybe it's just because I've just trained by myself for so long now, but I just enjoy my own company for the most part. But that's not to say that I don't love training with people every once in a while. I do feel like I've gotten a lot better at switching on in sets, like if I am with someone, but of course, I think that when you've got your headphones in and you're just blasting some really good tunes, those have always been, I think, my best sessions for sure. So just make sure you know yourself with that, and make sure you do set your boundaries as well. So at this point in the session, I actually put in the single leg RDLs. Now, I do single leg RDL on a regular basis, but what I wanted to do this time around was actually band them around the hip, because typically I do a double leg RDL banded around the hip, which basically means that we get a little bit more glute at the top of the movement as we bring the hips through, because typically as we bring the hips through to the top, the glutes sort of drop off a little bit in terms of the overall engagement. So I thought, I'm actually going to band these this time around, because they're a movement that, I'm going to do a little bit lighter in terms of weight than what I would if it was like 2 dumbbells. However, I yeah, I just wanted to give it a whirl, and I actually really like this. I thought this connected really well. I felt it in my glutes. It hurt. I think here, if anything, maybe I could have just kept my chest up ever so slightly more, but the connection was definitely there, let's put it that way. So I'll probably actually keep those in as a banded movement. And then to finish off the session, we did this 45-degree side backs, which you know I love so much at Dungeon. One of my favourite leg presses, I would say. Glute focus stance, so narrow and quite high, just to make sure that we're not getting too much quad into that. Now, I was pretty happy with this set as well. I didn't put any sleeves on for this set. It was my last exercise of the session, so I was already kind of going in pretty exhausted, not loading them up maybe as heavy as what I usually would, although I was actually quite happy with 3 plates and the rep range that I actually hit this time around. I only did 1 set here though. It was quite a big session anyway, and quite a long session obviously with between 3 of us. I think I might mention this later on in the video, but I've actually had a couple of comments like this that's been here about, you know, asking if I do wellness, and I really don't see it, but I will take it because, you know, my lower body has been a focus for a long time, because it is naturally like a weaker body part for me. I'm not blessed with a big lower body at all, or a muscular lower body. I have to work really hard to grow my lower. So look, like that is a win, if any. So this was really nice, obviously, to catch up with the girls, train with them, and then be able to send them on their way. Good morning, guys. So it's now the following day. I have literally just checked in this morning and my body weight has actually dropped down by another 0.1 of a kilo. So I'm 62.1 as of today. So things are moving. Definitely my best like set of pictures. It's like so far this recomp phase, or this mini cut, whatever you want to call it. But we are most likely going to go out for some food later. So I've messaged a couple of places to see if we can actually book, because we always cut it quite fine with these sorts of things. But I actually forgot to record my check-in this morning with this camera, which gutted on myself about, but anyways, they'll always be next week. However, I'm actually pretty happy with the visuals this morning. Like everything's just started to come in a little bit more. I'm definitely noticing the difference, like in myself as well, which is always really, really nice. And you know what, it's just so underrated to have a responsive body. Like after such a slog at the earlier end of the year, like the first part of the year, with my thyroid and my test being really low, it was just, quite honestly, just a bit of a shit show. And I will never ever take it for granted again, like actually being able to have a body that does what you want it to do, because there are many reasons why it's not always just about calories in, calories out. And yes, that is 95% of the time, yes, absolutely, but there are obviously those instances in which, like, you know, you can be doing everything right, and don't get me wrong, I could probably have really forced my body to go there, but obviously it wasn't that I was already quite lean. I still had quite a ways to go. So, you know, to try and force it for every 0.1, like it, and just take weeks just to pull off a very, 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 very small amount. Yeah, it's I'd feel shit for it too. It just wasn't worthwhile, and I think that it's always worth looking into, as I always come back to, if you are noticing that there is something that feels like not quite right, like you are literally on it to a T without fail, like weighing every gram, doing every second of cardio, doing every single step, sleeping well, training, never missing sessions, and still there is still something not quite right, or you feel like in yourself you're not quite right, especially as a female. I think we're a little bit more sensitive, but look into it, get blood work done, look into it. It's something that I always will say to my girls if I ever was to suspect that something might need to be looked into. And there have been a couple of occasions where we've realised that actually things are a little bit off, and there are things that might need to be addressed, and like that's what I've been doing for the past like however long, like the past year myself, to be able to get myself into this position now where I actually, you know, I respond the way that I would have expected, if that makes sense. Now obviously there have been times in the past where I've been dieting in prep on higher food, lower expenditure. Both my last prep specifically, I really did not have to push that hard. For someone who is like quite a small female, like I'm like 5'3", and you know, I'm not exactly, I have good density, but I'm not like the most muscular person in the world. I had to do very little, to be honest, to get in shape last time, which I think is why it was such a, oh hello pigeon, why it was such a big shock at the beginning of the year where my body just wasn't responding. And yeah, because it was so far from what I was used to that I was like, what is going on here? I kind of put it down to just like the fact that I hadn't, you know, maybe reversed my calories up as much as I could have done. But ultimately, I don't think that really played all that much of a factor at all, because it wasn't like I was silly with food or anything like that. But in any case, we're here now. It's your little cue to look into it if you feel like something's not quite right. But I'm literally just outside the apartment gym at the moment, so I'm sat under this little gazebo thing. That's the pool over there. The apartment gym is there. I think I'm just gonna bosh out this cardio, bosh out some steps, and get back to fuel message, which I'm already, to be honest, almost done with. But just then crack on with a bit of work. Fridays and Saturdays are more like my content days, because I don't have check-in days between Fridays and Sundays, so I go from like Mondays to Thursday with check-ins with the girls. But obviously the work never stops. There's always messages to get back to and a few things to get in order as well. So I'll show you some of today, and if we do end up going for food later, I will show you that as well. Not to mention, guys, I'm pretty sure I've broken the cross trainer just from how furiously I've been pedaling, because this definitely should be aligned and this side's gone in. So don't know what that's about, but I have mentioned it to them that it needs to be fixed. But until then, I'm going to still keep using it anyway, because fuck that, and it gets the job done still. So, you know, the main thing, it pedals, we're getting leaner, job done. You know what, I was also thinking as well that I was like, it's hot in here today, like really, really warm. I was doing my cardio, I was just like, oh, I didn't turn the aircon on, so I've just been like pedaling away in the cross trainer for like 25 minutes, sweating my tits off because I didn't fucking turn the aircon on. What an idiot. Is kind of where we're at. So quads are coming through just a little bit more definition through the midsection as well. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting a little bit better. Lower back is coming in just a little bit as well. Usually I hold a bit more of my body fat generally around here, like midsection, lower back, and to be honest, for me, also my arms and upper body as well. So seeing that come in a bit has definitely been very, very welcome, I will say. Okay guys, we are literally just at JBR now. So you can see the big Ferris wheel, literally just along the beach. We have a reservation at a Turkish called Awani. So we're gonna go and find that now. So it took us like 40 minutes to get in though, even though it's technically only 20 minutes away, but that's just how bad the traffic gets in the marina. But you can see it's like mega busy now, a lot busier than what it was. Oh. Oh yeah, that was easy. That was fully booked though. See, it's a lot busier now than when we were here. Oh, here it is. It's here. Oh yeah. funny story. The first time we came here, it was like peak of summer, and it was we came out here doing some touristy walking around, and we got stuck trying to find a taxi, and Mark was actually dying inside, and on the outside, in every way possible, to be honest. But here we are. Just got here now. Just gonna sort a reservation. So I've literally just had the dip arrive. I'm not too sure what it's called, I forget now, but it's one with roasted red peppers, I think walnuts, and some other bits and pieces. But I was just like, oh, you know what? I do love a dip. I'm just gonna get one. I'm obviously not gonna have like all of that. I think the bread is coming now, but I don't think Mark will share any with me because he's not a dip person, but I think I'm gonna enjoy that. Just can't just go to a Turkish and just not get a dip, or not get like hummus or something. It's impossible. So the bread has just arrived as well. That is a lot of bread for this lot of dip, which Mark is not going to share with me. So I have a bit of bread. I'm going to dip him in here. That's very good. Wow.
Enjoy.
That looks unreal, Mark.
Thank you.
Right, so I've gotten started with the dip. This is lamb, a big lamb shank. It's actually bigger than what I thought, in like a yogurt sauce with rice. Mark's got prawns and this massive rice and chicken thing with and potato, is it?
Everything.
Oh wow. So I'm gonna just look at that. Okay, yeah, that's better.
Spicy? Oh yes, okay, yes. Thank you.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Amazing, thank you very much. Thank you.
That's it. I have to do a little taste test. This somehow. That is just falling off the bone. Oh wow. That is amazing. So tender. Zuzu. Oh wow. They must be really good, Mark. Okay guys, so just to close this off, so this is now the following day after our meal out last night, and that was honestly lovely. I will say that I think I prefer the other Turkish we went to before, but one big point that we wanted to make whilst the weather is now getting a little bit cooler is that we wanted to sit outside because it's just getting a little bit more pleasant out now, and you can kind of go somewhere where there's like a nice vibe rather than actually just going somewhere like in the mall and sitting inside. So we wanted to make a point of like actually sitting outside, so that was lovely, although the food wasn't as good, but it was still good. Still enjoyed it. Nice to have a little bit of like downtime, doing something out of the apartment, I guess, because you just end up spending a lot of time in the apartment. The only thing was the traffic was pretty savage there and back. It was like it should be in the summer in Dubai like a 20-minute drive when it's like quiet, but in the winter when everyone starts to come back from wherever they've been, it's like, yeah, double the time. So it's like a 20-minute drive becomes like a 45-minute drive. So it makes it very easy then to want to stay in the apartment, but always trying to make a point of actually getting out. Yeah, so the meal was lovely. Body weight this morning was up by 0.6 of a kilo, which is not too bad, And I've actually just got back from training in Banus, so I've done a glute session in Banus today. You know what? It was actually quite nice to go in with a little bit more food. I definitely always feel the difference off the back of having that, or that bit extra calories, that bit extra carbs, being a little bit more full. Pump was good. So yeah, it was actually a pretty good session. I spent a good while in the gym actually, because I find that when I'm a bit more fed, I just I did actually do a little bit more volume than what I would typically do today, but I felt really good for it. So yeah, just stuck with that. Got back, hence why I look like a little bit of a hot mess, and literally just need to get stuck into some work. However, today I'm going to keep I have kept my food much the same. I've made a couple of little tweaks just to put calories down ever so slightly just today, but I'm not really going to change all that much at all. It's like maybe 150 calories, 200 calories or so. So sometimes if it's a bigger meal and I don't necessarily adjust the crazy amount the day before, sometimes I'll do the day after as well. So I'll just adjust calories over a couple of days. And then I'm sure that over the next couple of days or so into next week, that will be most likely starting to drop into the 61s, which would be wicked. But everything's going pretty well. Session was good. Got another comment asking if I competed in wellness, which I don't know what that is about, because to me, when I look in the mirror, I'm just still seeing that 50 kilo bikini girl that still needs a lot more muscle, especially in her glutes. I'm like, I don't see it, but I will take it. But in any case, always nice to kind of like be able to enjoy the odd off plan. And I touched on this actually in a post that I was putting together, but you might think that, you know, obviously the past while I've been dieting down, losing body fat whilst still enjoying the odd off-plan meal, because it's nice for me to have that bit of flexibility. It makes the inner foodie in me very, very, very happy. But it's not luck, guys. Like, it's because I prepare. It's because because of how I spend the majority of my time, which is being consistent with my food, with my nutrition, with my steps, with my cardio, with my training, legit, like literally like 99% of the time. And because I do that, that means that if I then think about the overall weight, I want to like balance calories out across a day or a couple of days where I'm eating off plan, I can do that and still make progress. And you can do that and still make progress, but it's because you do the work and because you're intentional about how you do it. Like, that is the main thing. So, you might be seeing like people eat off plan and still be achieving their fitness goals. And you can do that. But one, you have to pick and choose your battles. And two, you actually have to focus more on how you spend the majority of your time to, like, not to say you have to earn your food, but you have to earn the right to make progress and have that little bit of flexibility too. Because if you have, like, you can't have your cake and eat it at the end of the day, if only, right? Otherwise, everyone would already be in shape. But that would be my little 2 cents just to finish off this video. But guys, if you enjoyed this vlog, please like, share, subscribe, and comment obviously if there's anything else you want to see, and I will see you guys in the next one.